Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Agus Baharudin, and in this occasions, I want to present our research topic entitled Aerodynamic Analysis of Various Dimple Surface Designs of a Golf Ball Utilizing Water and Wind Tunnel, Flow Visualizations, and PIV or Particle Image Velocimetry. The outline of our presentation: the first we talk about the background and motivations, and then research objectives and novelty, and then the golf ball designs using in this research, and then the experimental setup by using water tunnel and then wind tunnel, and then flow field and aerodynamic coefficient results, and also we try to simulate trajectory analysis of the designs, and then the conclusions and the future work. Backgrounds and motivations. As we know that aerodynamic behavior of a golf ball is strongly dependent in its carry distance and then trajectory stability. However, most previous studies just focusing on one dimple patterns and not only vary depth and or diameter, with limited comparison between the fundamental different surface designs. And this motivates the present study, which combines water and then wind tunnel measurements and trajectory analysis to clarify how these surface patterns modify flow field, lift, and drag over the golf ball. Research objectives. The first, we try to compare the aerodynamics in the different dimple patterns of a golf ball. And we try to characterize flow field, separation regimes, and wake using water tunnel, PIV, and flow visualizations. And also we try to measure the lift and drag coefficients in the wind tunnel and use those data to calculate the flight trajectory of the different dimple patterns. Research novelty. This is the first systematic comparison between the different surface of the dimple patterns of a golf ball. And then the integrated approach by combining water tunnel, wind tunnel, PIV, and trajectory modeling in a single study. As you can see in the slide, this is the designs will be used of design of the golf ball that will be used in the in this research. The first is the baseline or the circle dimple pattern. The second one hexagonal dimple ball and the circular convex ball. And the number of the dimple used in the all of the different dimple patterns is about 308 dimples, and for all of the parameter will be the same for the three different dimple patterns. And this is the water tunnel and PIV measurements method. As you can see that the model will be mounted in the middle of the text sections in the water tunnel, and the water tunnel will so we can control the flow fields in the water tunnel, and by using the laser sheets, and then we can get the picture from the camera, and then the pictures will be sent to the personal computer to compute the trajectory analysis for the flow visualizations by using the PIV lab. And the same goes with the water in the wind tunnel. The model will be located in the middle of the wind tunnel, and then our wind tunnel have been equipped with the force measurements, so we can get the lift and then drag force, and then we can calculate the lift and the drag coefficients data from the experiments. And this is how we can determine the testing speed. So the first we try to categorize the flow by using the laminar, transitional, and turbulent with the different Reynolds number. And then by using the Reynolds number formula, we can use this formula to determine how much the flow speed that will be used to get the corresponding Reynolds number. For example, here for the example 1 water tunnel, in the laminar case, we will try to get the 1500 Reynolds number. So if you want to get this Reynolds number, how much the flow speed in the water tunnel is about 0.04 meter per second and 0.52 meter per second for the wind tunnel. And by using this data, we can get the corresponding flow speed and then different Reynolds number. And then to control the different flow speed, we can control the frequency of the motor in the wind tunnel and then water tunnel. For example, 0.5 hertz in the water tunnel will produce 0.04 meter per second. So by using this method, we can control the flow speed. Next, flow separations, flow velocity and vorticity magnetic measurements. This is the flow separation regime identifications. So the main idea for the flow separations is we try to locate where is the flow separation locations take place in the different situations. Uh, for example, for the convex ball, even though the flow speed is increased, the location of the flow separations will be the same entire the flow speed. It, it, it will be different. It will be slightly different for the baseline model. For example, as you can see here, in the laminar flow, the flow separation regimes will slightly further, and by when the flow fits is increased, the flow separation regime will be slightly downward, and it will create a lower drag compared to the convex model. So as you can see, as I mentioned before, that as the flow frequency increase, the wake becomes more energetic for all models, but the convex design still shows the earliest separations and broadest wake, and it will produce more drag. And then we also try to simulate the flow and vorticity magnitude in the golf ball. Our method is by using a polyline method in a vertical directions here behind the golf ball. So the flow velocity and the vorticity magnitude can be extracted by using the PIV lab. And here, so this is the velocity magnitude. As you can see, for example, in this slide, baseline model in the polyline 1, 2, and 3. And here, the green line is corresponding in this locations. So as you can see that it will be vary across the different situations. So for all the three designs, the velocity drops sharply behind the ball. It means that this region is the wake. As the flow rate is increased, the wake becomes narrower, and then the velocity in the wake recovers toward the free stream value. For the convex ball, wake is generally wider and deeper, and again, it will create more drag. But however, in the baseline, wake is more compact and with faster recovery. This is the still favorite conditions for the golf ball. Not only flow velocity, we try to conduct the measurement for the vorticity magnitude. Vorticity is simply means that vortice create behind the golf ball, as you can see in the blue and the red, blue and the orange here. Here, so for example, for the baseline model, it creates the lowest vorticity magnitude as compared to the others. As you can see the data here. But compared to the convex model create more vorticity in the higher speed. Again, this data is supported by the previous mentioned before. So implication for the aerodynamics, the stronger vortices in the wake are associated with higher pressure drag. So the vorticity results support the findings that the convex designs tend to produce higher drag. Next is about the flow visualizations in the wind tunnel. Our method is by using the red dye that injected upstream in the water tunnel to visualize the wake behind the three golf balls. These visualizations qualitatively confirm that PIV results. The convex surface produces the strongest wake, while the baseline keeps the wake more compact as the previous results. The same patterns occur in the flow visualizations in the wind tunnel. For example, the convex model in the low Reynolds number create more complex, and all of the situation will be the same as the previous results. Next, we will move the trajectory analysis. So for the trajectory analysis, we will simulate by using the following formula. And then, as I mentioned before, that we we can get the data for the lift and drag force by using the wind tunnel, and by using the data, the corresponding data, we can calculate the lift and drag coefficients for the different dimple patterns with respect to the difference flow velocity. And then this is the coefficients of drag and lift coefficients versus the Reynolds number. For example, for the drag coefficients, the baseline ball usually has the lowest drag coefficient and relatively smooth and stable compared to the other dimple patterns. And then for the lift coefficients, as the Reynolds number increase, the lift coefficient generally increase for the all three surface designs. And then the baseline hexagonal dimple surface patterns show more moderate positive CL at high Reynolds number. So their lift is weaker than the convex designs and closer to each other. And then this is the trajectory analysis. So for the trajectory analysis, we try to simulate in the difference launch angle 50 degrees to the 59 degrees to simulate our data into possible launching angle situations following are assumed. Launching velocity is about 40 meters per second at different launch angle, as I mentioned before. The ball has no rotations, no drag and lift influence caused by the flow in the right directions, accelerations, and coefficient are constant instead of time relative. So, under the still air non-spinning conditions with an initial speed 40 meters per second, the convex ball gives longest carry distance at the lower launch angles. However, for the higher launch angles, the baseline the baseline travels slightly further horizontally. So it means that the convex ball has the strongest vortices and then the largest wake, high drag but also high lift, and then the baseline has more compact wake and lower drag. Conclusions. For the flow fields, the convex ball produces the strongest wake and vortices, and the baseline has the most compact and stable wake. For the aerodynamic coefficients, the baseline generally has the lowest drag compared to the others. And for the trajectory and performance, still the baseline has the longest carry for the high launch angles. Further works because we for the data for the lift and drag coefficients is still limited. For the future works, we try to collect more data for the lift and drag, so then our simulations will be more accurate, and then perform PIV and flow visualization at higher Reynolds numbers. I think that's all of from me. Thank you for your attention, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.